It's no secret that I'm obsessed with cruising, and there are many cruise traditions and activities that I love to participate in. For example, I love music trivia, formal night, and sipping cocktails on my balcony. However, there are some things that I'll never, ever, ever do on a cruise vacation. The first thing I'll never do on a cruise is buy a designer handbag or a designer watch. You might not know this, but these items aren't actually sold by the cruise line. The stores on the ship are third party sellers. The deals seem really great, but it's nearly impossible to get a resolution to any problems you might have after you return home. If your watch stops working or your back falls apart, the manufacturer is probably not going to help you. Many times the items are not authentic or they're pre-owned. I've heard some of the Rolex watches have been refurbished using aftermarket parts. If that's the case, Rolex isn't going to help you if there's a problem with your watch after you return home. My advice, if you want those investment pieces, is to just go to a local store or go online and deal with the company directly. It'll probably cost more, but you'll be protected by the warranty and you'll know that you're getting something authentic. But hey, if you want a knockoff and you're cool with it, because I have been there, I've purchased many things off a street corner in New York City. If that's what you want, a knockoff, then that might be a really good place to get it. I don't know. What do you think? Second thing is I would never get Botox on a cruise. I do get Botox once in a while. I'm overdue for it. I've got these lines here, but I will never do it on a cruise ship. Why? Well, it takes about 2 weeks for Botox to fully kick in. And during that time, things can get really wonky. I have this eyebrow, that just tries to like fly away a little bit every time. So, about 7 to 10 days after my initial injections, I usually need to go back to my dermatologist and have her tweak it. And she fixes it and everything kind of calms back down. But for that reason, I think it's really important to see an injector near your home so you can go back as many times as necessary to like make your adjustments. Also, I bet you the cost for Botox is astronomical on a cruise. I can't even imagine what they would charge for it. And besides, it doesn't even start working until your cruise is over. So if you're thinking of getting Botox or fillers or anything like that, do it like 3 weeks before your vacation, and then it'll be kicked in, and you'll all the problems will be fixed before your cruise, and you can be wrinkle free and all of your cruise photos. The next thing on my list is the never skip the muster drill. I know so many people just hate the muster drill, but you know what's worse? Having the sail away delayed because passengers refuse to cooperate. Muster drills are so easy nowadays. There's really nothing to hate. On most cruises, you can watch a video on your TV or on the app and then take your card and like scan it at the muster station. In the old days, it was really a pain. We had to put on our life jackets, then go stand at the muster station. Kind of everyone would cram in because there's so many people. And you'd have to wait there until the captain gave the all clear to go back to your room. And you had to wait a while because if people weren't cooperating, you just kind of had to stand there and wait till everybody complied. I'm so glad it's not like that anymore. That was such a pain. Next on my list is I will never overpack. I used to overpack like I was moving on to the ship, like 6 pairs of shoes, 25 outfits for like a 7 day cruise. But then something happened that changed my mind about overpacking. Last year on a cruise, my husband and I opted to walk off the ship on disembarkation day with our luggage. Instead of doing the whole thing, where you put it outside and then you pick it up the next day, at baggage claim after you disembark, we kept our luggage with us. We did the 7 a.m. walk off disembarkation, and the line was really, really long. It was hot. I was exhausted and dehydrated. And after waiting in line for about 20 minutes, my blood pressure dropped. I got really dizzy and I almost fainted. I could barely speak. I ended up being taken to the medical center in a wheelchair, which means my two huge suitcases, my backpack, and my tote that I brought had to be carried by my husband, who also overpacked as well. So he had like 4 suitcases and all these bags attached to him and hanging off of our luggage. It was such a pain for him. He had a hard time. I was in a wheelchair and he had to pull all of this luggage by himself. Had we not overpacked, this would have gone so much easier. So now we don't overpack, but also we don't carry our own luggage off anymore. We don't wait in that line for early disembarkation. We just put our luggage out at night, and then in the morning, we go eat in the main dining room, have a nice casual, nice leisurely breakfast. Then we wait on the ship until they call our number and pick up our luggage when we get off. So even though we don't overpack, we still have opted to let someone else handle the luggage. Next on my list for things that I don't do on cruises is that I don't take the elevator unless I have to. I do take the elevator, but I never take it unless I'm traveling up or down like 3 floors. The first reason for this is sometimes the elevators are hard to come by, and I prefer to leave room on those elevators for people who cannot use the stairs at all. Secondly, I need to burn off these calories somehow, and what better way than just taking the stairs? Third, it's faster to use the stairs sometimes. Why would I want to stand around waiting for an elevator when I could just be sipping champagne in the bar or sitting on my balcony watching the ocean go by? That seems like a better time. Next on my list is I will never hog the pool chairs. There are people, probably nobody watching this, right? Like you guys would never do this. But there are people who get up at the crack of dawn, they take their towels and they put them on the pool chairs and then they leave for hours, like hours. They leave to go eat, they go back to their room. And I'm not ashamed to say that I just think this is so rude. I could never do it. I would feel so guilty. And I could just imagine people wandering, like looking around for a place to sit when all the chairs are taken, but nobody's actually using the chairs or just towels on them. I would feel so bad. I could never do that. Next on my list is never forget sunscreen. Not having sunscreen on a cruise vacation is not an option. Even if you don't spend hours laying by the pool, that sun is hot out there and you will get burned. The price of sunscreen on a cruise ship is really high. So do yourself a favor and make sure you bring plenty. Also, you're going to want reef safe sunscreen if you'll be getting into the ocean at all at any of your ports. So that's my list of things that I would never do on a cruise. What about you? Do you do these things? Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? Are there things you will never do on a cruise? Tell me about them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Happy cruising.